Is my screen visible? Hello. Is my screen visible? Yes. Okay. Yep. Today we are going to talk about Tailwind, best of best worlds. Before we proceed, what's happening? Yeah. A little intro about me. My name is Vilva. I work for a company called Romeo, and I'm in Berlin. I love OSS so much. Be it writing code or giving talks, blogs, videos, whatever it is. But I don't do anything consistently. Like whatever I feel like doing, I do it. I'm the creator of Tailwind, whatever I'm going to talk about. I've also created a library called HQL Tag. It's for using Hasura in client in a better way. Do check that out and give us some stars. And currently building two things. One is query library. This is for GraphQL, and other is OSS Puppy, a tool, open source tool for open source developers. And in every platform, you can find me with the name called Vilva Athiban, unique name. That's a perk of it. And yeah, let's begin. Tailwind. So with like Bhargav already introduced, Tailwind is nothing but styled components plus Tailwind. Tailwind, I mean. It was just a spark. I'm not sure if you guys know Amir Jan. He's also a OSS developer. One day we were having a conversation on how it will be to use Tailwind with styled components, and that's how it resulted in this new library which we built. He is my co-creator there. We both built it together, and as the name suggests, Tailwind is nothing but Tailwind plus styled components. That's what we, maybe the names should be arranged in reverse so it makes sense. But yeah, I made it in half sleep. Okay. So this is Tailwind. Before getting deeper into how Tailwind works and all the other stuff, let's first see what is Tailwind and styled components. I assume most of you here are coming from React or web background, and I'm proceeding. Tailwind is like a CSS library, more like Bootstrap, where you get a lot of pre-compiled CSS written, and the class names are exposed. You use it along. This is very quick, but one difference between Tailwind and Bootstrap is Bootstrap gives you components, and Tailwind actually gives you styles. That's more powerful, and this is really quick to prototype. Of course, when you start, when you're new, for 2-3 hours you will have some friction, but then you're going to absolutely love it. We built a product for Corona people. Like when people are suffering, when Corona broke out, we built a small product, open source product again, and that's when we started using Tailwind. And in like less than 2-3 hours, I was able to be so much productive in building UI components. And then I never lost my love for Tailwind. And also it's atomic CSS. Like they abstract CSS into class names, and you can actually combine them and use it. So it's so beautiful. But there are some issues with Tailwind. Like I was not able to use it in my office setup, or I was having some problems in using in bigger applications or like applications of specific use cases. Few things are like there is no React Native support. You can't use Tailwind with React Native. And I am working on React and React Native, so that was my first problem I faced. Next thing is big bundle size. Like using Purge CSS, you can of course reduce it to some extent, but still you have to include a lot of CSS within your bundle, which is again a problem in our opinion. Readability. Of course, there are atomic CSS, you can use multiple class names, but then for a practical component, I couldn't find the end. Like either it's like 3-4 lines of CSS, or like it goes out of the readable view. So it was quite hard for me to read when in a practical application I was using a lot of class names. Also, very huge number of classes. Even if in autocomplete, it was a bit hard. And then you need extra build tools. Like you definitely need Purge CSS. Without Purge CSS, you can't go ahead and get a production build. And also you need to, whenever you change the config and all the stuff, you need to rerun the Tailwind CLI for generating the custom class names. These were the problems we had with Tailwind. And already I was liking to use styled components. One of the main reason was React Native support. Styled component supports React Native out of the box, and it was so cool. And there was no CSS pollution, like class names don't conflict with each other. I can have individual like same component names across different files and use it in those respective files. That's no problem at all. I was so happy with style components the way I write CSS, because I don't have to worry what somebody else in some other team has written in their file or in their component. All I need to worry is only my component. And composable CSS with React components. That's the most favorite feature of style components for me, because like yeah, Tailwind gives you similar things, but it's not way straightforward, or like you need to plan well in advance to use composition in Tailwind. But with with styled components, it's on the fly. You need it, you use it. If you don't need it, you just leave it. So it's not required for you to write all the CSS into a component. Like you can create a button component, and later you can compose it over and create a primary button and secondary button type components. And also, like with styles, you get the class names, which is more clear. Like instead of having 10 class names of for a single HTML div, it's more clear for me to read something like a styled primary button. It all already tells me that it's a button which is styled using styled components, and the role of the button is primary, and you don't need any extra build tools. So I loved styled components, but I was having some issues there. Every CSS I need to write, especially when it comes for responsive design. I need to write a media query within styled components, where I again call different CSS properties. And writing atomic CSS was a bit hard. So I was lazy. I'll say I'll not say this was a big problem, but I was lazy to write all of CSS after having the comfort of Tailwind CSS. So like I'm a greedy person. I wanted both. I wanted the best of both the worlds. I of course understand both are different worlds. Both are best in own ways, but I wanted something more. I was thinking about it, like how Trump thinks right now to somehow win it back. And one thing, and that's how the conversation went. And simply we thought, why can't we get the best of both worlds, me and Amir? And that resulted in the building of Tailwind. This was the idea we got. Okay, this is how we build a styled component. Like const, we give a variable name, then styled.div or whatever component you want. And then we normally write CSS. We thought, why don't we write a Tailwind class name instead of CSS? That was the only thought we had. Then we started investigation, we started brainstorming. Then we started building Tailwind actually. Okay, what are all the benefits of using Tailwind? You get React Native support out of the box, because we have built it on top of styled components. Tailwind like atomic CSS, because it's gonna support completely whatever Tailwind supports as class names. It's gonna support everything. Smaller bundle size. Why? Because though we use Tailwind class names in styled components, we actually don't use Tailwind at all. Tailwind is not a part of Tailwind at all. And even styled components is not a part of Tailwind. Styled components should be a peer dependency, of course. We have built Tailwind to work on top of styled components. So we need it in peer dependency. But it's going to be a very small library. So the bundle size is going to be very small. And it gives me the benefits of using styled components, which is composable CSS with React components. I'm not sure even that's possible with Tailwind, because now I can use 4 Tailwind class names into a component, and I can compose it along and add more Tailwind class names, which is giving me so much power and usage. Again, component name is attached. It's so clear. Even when a new person comes into the code base, he's going to be exactly clear what that particular component is going to do because of the naming convention. And the most beautiful thing, I guess, you people will love is one-step migration, which I'll be showing you guys in the demo. And we have a Babel plugin version. Ta-da! Now, it doesn't matter how big your application is. If you're using styled components already, you're not going to increase your bundle size. You're not going to add any additional dependencies for your bundle. You are not going to do anything supernatural or any breaking change for your application. All you need are going to do is install a Babel plugin and then start using Tailwind class names out of the box. Don't care about anything within styled components. Use Tailwind class names. It's going to work like a charm. Again, this will be shown in the demo, and you don't need any extra build tools. All you need is Babel. That's it. Also, of course, I forgot to mention Babel plugin is a way to use, but we also have a standalone Tailwind library as well. Today, the demo will be on standalone thing, because in the official docs, I have a clear demo for using the components. I'll share the link of the official docs with the repository and in Twitter. But right now, today, the demo will be more on the Babel plugin side. Before we go on to the demo, let me show you how it works, like how we have architectured or how we have decided to see the future of the library, or what is our vision. So this is the high level of our architecture of Tailwind. What we do, we get the Tailwind class names and then we pass it to Tailwind. This is not for Babel plugin, this is for the actual library. If you are using Tailwind as the actual library, you will not be requiring styled component to be used in the code. You will be passing all the class names to Tailwind, not styled components. So you will pass all the class names to Tailwind, and this Tailwind, what it will do, we are creating something like a plugin system. Today we have only one plugin, that is our Tailwind plugin. What it does, it gets this class names from Tailwind and then passes it to our internal plugin, and this internal plugin converts the class names to corresponding CSS. We have a internal CSS generator which creates CSS, and then it replaces the string and passes it to styled components. So end of the day, for the system or for the browser, it's going to be a normal styled component with normal CSS written into it. No change at all. But for the developer or for the developer experience, it's going to be magic. That's what we have created. And the future is like, say tomorrow, if somebody is interested in using Bootstrap, but they actually don't want to use Bootstrap, but they want to use Bootstrap class names with styled components. Why not? Just create a new plugin for Bootstrap, add it with Tailwind, you're good to go. Tomorrow somebody else may come and ask for Material UI. Yeah, contribute for a plugin, you're good to go. So that's what we have. We are having a vision of. It's going to be a plugin driven library in future. But right, even now it's plugin driven, but currently we support only one plugin. We don't have other plugins. That's how we have architected, and that's how we are seeing the future of style. Okay, probably few people are already thinking, what am I saying? So let's not waste more time and let's see some code. Where is the code? Okay. This is just a create React app which I have bootstrapped and then have created a single component, that is my app component, using styled components. Container which has 100 VH, and heading which has a margin top, and a button which has a color and a background. And I'm just using this, and this is my output. I have a heading, welcome to Full Stack Earth, and I have a button, click me. Now, how do I migrate this, or how do I enable styled wind here? No need to change anything in my code here. All I need to do is in package JSON, like I have ejected CRA, client React app, sorry, create React app. I have added only one line. Within plugin array of Babel settings, I have just passed Babel plugins Tailwind. If you have a custom Babel setup, you can use it in Babel RC. Just include this one line and you are good to go already. That's it. Include this. Now go here. Say if I want some padding and margin for my button, I'll do padding. For y-axis, I will have maybe 3. Save it. got it. I don't know why automatic reload was not working. It should work now. And padding x-axis, maybe I'll have 5, 4, and you can see live in the right side. And maybe uh, I'll make my text a bit larger. Text Excel. Excel. Yeah. So now I already Tailwind is like I'm able to use Tailwind class names with my components. This is not a very big feature for me because I can still write instead of this 4 characters, I can write padding top and padding bottom and all the stuff. But the most favorite things are the responsiveness and the hover actions. Say if I want hover now, instead of writing the bigger part of thing like bigger part how we used to do in normal CSS, all I do is dot hover colon bt hyphen green hyphen 500 maybe. I save it. Now if you see here, I'm just hovering and I'm getting the color already. And other big thing is responsiveness. That's it. I don't have to write any media query. Dot lg, and say I'll make my background color to be uh, it's already red. For hover it's green, so probably I'll choose blue 400. And if you see, normally it is red because it's not large screen yet. But when I expand the height, when it reaches the breakpoint for large screen, it became blue. Again, I minimize the height, minimize the width, it becomes red. As simple as that for creating responsive UI. This is the beautiful thing I like. Also, you have customizations. You can create a file called tailwind.js, and then you can use Tailwind structure itself. This is the exactly same structure which Tailwind uses internally, and you can create custom colors. So right now I created something called Vilva. So what I can do is go here. So that color is something like cyan. Instead of color white, which is my text color, I can directly use text hyphen Vilva. I don't know if you noticed, but the color of the text has changed to cyan because that's the color code I have used for Vilva. Probably I'll remove the background. Now if you see, you can see the color has changed to cyan. Now next thing I'll do is for background color. Now I'll maybe make my text black and I'll create background color of Vilva. Cool. Text has become black, background color becomes cyan. This is the beauty of customization as well. So if you want any color or any breakpoints or any margin or any padding to be added, just add it to the theme and it will reflect everywhere. You can directly start using it. Now my color name, which is named Vilva, will work for background, will work for text, will work for border. Wherever you can use a color, everywhere it will be present already, omnipresent. This is the power of our Tailwind library. Cool. Where is my slides? Roadmap. If you ask, can you use this library already in production? I will say only one problem you have currently. Of course, we suggest using Babel plugin because, yes, Tailwind is not very big. It's a small library, but you don't even have to include that. Babel works beautifully, so we suggest you to use Babel plugin. But only problem right now we have is we don't have linting or autocomplete. So if you have styled components VS Code plugin enabled, you will get red errors. So we are currently building a linter and also a VS Code extension which will give you autocomplete for all the class names. So you don't have to remember. I remember because I have been using it for quite some time, but you may not remember initially. So we are working on autocomplete feature. If you are okay in disabling the styled components linter, and the extension, you can definitely use it in production from today, from this minute. So it's super safe. It will not break anything. You can still write, like, with along with this class names, you can even write normal CSS here. So you can always write like this, and the color red is, has over-redundancy. So nothing is going to break. Your current workflow can continue as it is, how it is right now. Additionally, you get some superpower of using Tailwind class names. So the only choice you need to take is, are you okay in disabling the extension, or are you okay in ignoring the errors which it creates? Because it's not going to error when it's going to bundle. It's going to error only in your local dev environment. Or wait for some more time, we'll finish the VS Code extension as well, and then it will be super ready for all of you to use it. That's it. This is our URL. I'll also tweet about it and share it in Twitter. Give us some stars, encourage us, and we are always welcoming PRs, feature requests, and issues, whatnot. PR diagrams, blogs, just a mention, just a kudos, whatever it is, whatever contributions, you are welcome. Probably I'll open and show you the docs once. We have a very detailed docs. So this is the video which explains how to use Tailwind library. I explained right now the Babel plugin, and we have all the questions you might have as answers. We have quick start, configuration, Babel plugin, contribution, migration, showcase, everything. And also, if some of you are going to try this and build something today, do mention us and tweet. We will add your website in our showcase list. We are actually building a real product which may be used by many people using this library. And so far so good. We never faced any issue. Once that is live, we'll share more information on it. Oh, done. To give a follow in Twitter, this is my Twitter handle, Vilva Athiban. You can search for my name and you'll find me in any platform for that matter. And thank you for having me here. It was good talking, though it's very early morning. I'll stop sharing.